Hello, blessed Sunday to you. I'm going to carry on with The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and the stage where we are at now is age and time, product and process. Hopefully, this won't take too long. Okay. Question: do you know how old I'll be by the time I learn to play the piano? Answer: the same age you will be if you don't. I'm too old for that. Ranks with I don't have enough money for it as the great block lie we use to prevent further exploration. I'm too old is something we tell ourselves to save ourselves from the emotional cost of the ego deflation involved in being a beginner. A quote by Linus Pauling. Satisfaction of one's curiosity is one of the greatest sources of happiness in life. I'm too old to go to film school, I told myself at 35. And when I got to film school, I discovered that I was indeed 15 years older than my classmates. I also discovered I had a creative hunger, more life experience, and a much stronger learning curve. Now, now that I've taught in a film school myself, I find that very often my best students are those who came to their work late. I'm too old to be an actor. I've heard many students complain, and dramatically, I might add. They are not always pleased when I tell them this is not the case. The splendid actor John Mahoney did not even begin acting until he was nearly 40. 10 years into the highly successful career, he is now often booked 3 films in advance and works with some of the finest directors in the world. I'm too old to really be a writer, is another frequent complaint. This is more ego-saving nonsense. Raymond Chandler didn't publish until the far side of 40. The superb novel Jules and Jim was written as a first novel by a man in his 70s. I'm too old is an evasive tactic. It is always used to avoid facing fear. Now let's look at the other side. I'll let myself try it when I'm retired. This is an interesting side trip on the same ego-saving track. As a culture, we glorify youth and allow our youth the freedom to experiment, and we disparage our old-timers but allow them the right to be a little crazy. Many blocked creatives tell themselves that they are both too old and too young to allow themselves to pursue their dreams. Old and dotty, they might try it. Young and foolish, they might try it. In either scenario, being crazy is a prerequisite to creative exploration. Thank you, Jesus. I'm glad that's something that's part of my DNA. Bless my mother as well. I get it from her. Oh, my goodness. We do not want to look crazy. And trying something like that, whatever it is, at our age, whatever it is, would look nuts. Yeah, maybe. Creativity occurs in the moment, and in the moment, we are timeless. We discover that as we engage in a creative recovery, I felt like a kid, we may say, after a satisfying artist date. Kids are not self-conscious, and once we are actually in the flow of our creativity, neither are we. How long would it take me to learn to do that? We may ask, standing on the sideline of our longed for activity. Maybe a year to be pretty good? And the answer comes back, it depends. As blocked creatives, we like to pretend that a year or even several years is a long, long time. Our ego plays this little trick to keep us from getting started. That's key. From getting started, that's key. Instead of allowing ourselves a creative journey, we focus on the length of the trip. It's such a long way, we tell ourselves. It may be, but each day is just one more day with some motion in it, and that motion towards a goal is very enjoyable. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I'm gonna brace myself here. I just saw. Okay, let's just go for it. At the heart of the anorexia of artistic avoidance is the denial of process. We like to focus on having learned a skill or having made an artwork. This attention to final form ignores the fact that creativity lies not in the done, but in the doing. That's very good. I'm writing a screenplay is infinitely more interesting to the soul than I've written a screenplay, which pleases the ego. I'm in an acting class is infinitely more interesting than I took an acting class a few years ago. In a sense, no creative act is ever finished. You can't learn to act because there is always more to learn. Arguably, you cannot even direct a film because you will always be redirecting it, even years later. You will know then what you might have done and what you will do next if you keep working. This doesn't mean that the work accomplished is worthless. Hello? Yeah. Far from it. It simply means that doing the work points the way to new and better work to be done. Focused on the process, our creative life retains a sense of adventure. Focused on the product, the same creative life can feel foolish or barren. We inherit the obsession with product and the idea that art produces finished product from our consumer-oriented society. This focus creates a great deal of creative block. We as working artists may want to explore a new artistic area, but we don't see where it will get us. We wonder if it will be good for our career. Fixated on the need to have something to show for our labors, we often deny our curiosities. Every time we do this, we are blocked. A quote by Paul Cézanne. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, I apologize. There is a logic of colors, and it is with this alone, and not with the logic of the brain, that the painter should conform. That's good. I think I'll just say that again. There is a logic of colors, and it is within this alone, that, and not with the logic of the brain, that the painter should conform. I like it. Our use of age as a block to creative work interlocks with our toxic finished product thinking. We have set an appropriate age on certain activities: college graduation, going to med school, writing a first book. This artificial ego requirement asks us to be done when what we truly yearn for is to start something. If I didn't think I'd look like a jerk next to those young guys, I'd let myself sign up for an improv class. If my body looked anything like the way it did 20 years ago, I'd let myself take that jazzercise class at the Y. If I didn't think my family would consider me as a stupid old fool, I'd start playing the piano again. I still remember some of my lessons. Oh, those kinds of thoughts. You just take captain of them and loose them. Just cast them out. Those are lies, horrible things that make you doubt, to make you fear, and that's like a plan from the enemy. You just toss them out and go to God and say, God, I'd lay all this stuff down. Come, please, just. And also, those thoughts are kind of like the way that you speak to yourself as well. Not that I'm some guru about that, and I'm definitely not the best, but I am aware of that kind of thing, and really, it doesn't help. It really doesn't help. I don't really know too much about, ego stuff and all of that stuff, but I do know that it doesn't help you feel any better, and it doesn't help you become any more productive or interested or motivated if you're going to be so hard on yourself and keep piling on. And it's not good in the long run, and it's also not good as something that you constantly do, which can so easily become a habit that you don't even notice anymore, and then it eventually becomes like a pattern, and that pattern just goes on the same track on and on and on until it becomes this tension ball that you feel like you it's like a knot or a muscle that will never relax, and then that's when it's really, really difficult to begin, but nonetheless you still got to do it. If you want to progress, you got to go through the process, and you grow through what you go through. And if you go through it with God, and God is good, and God is love, and that love, that essence of that power of God's love, you can tap into that. You can truly experience tremendous healing and transformation in the most amazing way. And when you embrace that and think not only of yourself, but also of others, that you're not only here for you, but that doesn't mean you neglect yourself. That absolutely doesn't mean you neglect yourself for others. How can you love others if you're neglecting yourself? So you got to take care of yourself, and if you got to do some self-work or some work internally or spiritually or with a therapist or whatever to help yourself or help your heart become like good soil, or help yourself come to a place where you can actually stably extend love and care towards other people, and that is genuine, and you can stand stable in that and not trip and fall. And if you were to help somebody else up or help somebody else out or try to be there for somebody else out of love, that would be strong, firm, faith-filled love. And that's good. Sorry. If these excuses are beginning to sound flimsy to you, good. Ask yourself if you haven't employed a few of them. Then ask yourself if you can acquire the humility, oh, that's key, I love it, to start something despite your ego's reservations. The grace to be a beginner is always the best prayer for an artist. The beginner's humility and openness lead to exploration. Exploration leads to accomplishment. All of it begins at the beginning, with the first small and scary step. So step out in faith. And there's no shame in reaching out to somebody else to help guide you, to help teach you how to do that. But don't write yourself off from life and love and faith and all those chances. You are here for a reason. If you're breathing right now, there's a purpose for your life. And yeah. All right. Let me just see how long this next. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the video. Yeah. Also, I'm standing in a really weird way. I can feel a stretch. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Just too much information, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say this, but I feel I should at least try. So, if today, the 17th, right, is a day and a date that is significant for you, and maybe it's a hard day, maybe it's a day that you remember some losses, or maybe it's just a heavy day to get through, for whatever reason, please just know that you are not alone. And if you do feel alone, if you do feel overwhelmed, you have to reach out. There's not another way. You have to reach out. And there is help out there. And if you have any thoughts that are, let's put it this way, that involve you thinking that you want to take part in no longer being involved in living life anymore, no, that's not okay. And you know that. And there's so much more in store for you. And giving up is not an option. You can decide that. You can also choose to step a little bit more into life and embrace that. Despite the maybe going through a heavy time, it's not impossible to say yes to life and still go through pain and suffering, and still yet be grateful, and still yet see the beauty in life, and still yet, even though you don't see it clearly yet, but be hopeful that there is joy to come, and that there is a reason why you are here and why you are still breathing. And a lot of things might not make sense to you, and perhaps it's all emotion, but you gotta feel that. You gotta allow yourself to feel that. And if you need to be with another person, a therapist, someone to help you, someone of faith, etc., be with another person, but you gotta ask that. You gotta say something, and that's okay to do. That's really okay to do. And you might be really, really pleasantly surprised at how other people might respond to you. Really, like, feeling blessed to be able to help you, or to be able to listen. And yeah, I mean, I think also it's a really good thing to do unto yourself, to say to yourself, I'm going to do this kindness for me. I'm going to reach out to somebody else, because, like, I'll give you a small example, but it's not a full example. I'm just saying that, for example, today I think of someone that I miss a lot, okay, and I would have been there if, if it was possible faster than light speed, but I would have dropped my stuff immediately and directly gone to this person and be with them if they had asked for help, and if they had thought it was okay to do that kind of thing. But that sounds vague, and it is supposed to sound vague, but sometimes, I mean, I've even been in the position where I haven't reached out for help, and it wasn't fun. And I've even had times where I have reached out for help, and perhaps I didn't get a response immediately. But the action of doing that, just to try to do that is not harmful. And sometimes you're gonna feel the feelings that you feel anyway, but that does not mean that you need to act upon them in any kind of destructive way. You will get through that. You will get through that. And you are not alone, ultimately, and you are not alone. Because God is there. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Now, that sounds like, oh, Dolly, whatever. You say that all the time. Or that's just some... Well, I mean, then how about just reserving commentary from that and inquire, what is that? What is God's love? What is His love? What are the things that you desire in your heart? You can get that. You can find out more about it. And if you're at a place of your life that you've tried everything, you just don't know. And just want to say, there's a way made for you. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on life. You can still choose life. God has made a way for you. And I don't want to be preachy. I'm just saying that it's okay to step out in faith. And maybe it feels scary. And maybe you're in a church or in a situation where there's that opportunity to make that prayer and respond to that altar call. If you feel God calling you, respond. He wants to have a relationship with you, and He loves you. And He is love. Choose life. Keep your faith alive. Don't lose heart. Reach out. There's no reason for you to isolate yourself and take any negativity and pile it on you and then retreat. And beyond that, don't even think that you deserve it. That's a lie from the enemy. And if you're grieving someone today, I'm sorry you have to feel that way. But it will be okay. It will be okay. You can still live and experience a beautiful life, even though you're going through whatever you're going through. It's a part of life. It is. And that does not stop you from being able to love and be loved. Okay. Peace be with you. You're welcome to reach out to me anytime. And you can do it. Bye.